So today's topic is going to be on increasing your search engine rankings. So when you go to Google and Bing, those websites that populate, that's what you're looking for when it comes to increasing your search engines. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and introduce myself. My name is Christi Thompson, and I am the marketing director here at BIS Technology Group. I'm also a graphic designer and specialize in creating and implementing marketing strategies that get results. I have worked in the marketing industry for 10 years. I've implemented over 100 marketing campaigns, and I have a mass communication degree from Auburn University and award-winning marketing strategies. So let's go ahead and talk about 5 things in 5 seconds. Lori Jones, if you're a current customer of ours, then you know who Lori is. She is our project manager here at BIS Designs, and if you're an up-and-coming client, then you'll get to meet with her. She has this thing where it's 5 things in 5 seconds. When a visitor lands on your website, they should be able to determine 5 things about your website in 5 seconds. And these 5 things should keep them on their website so that they don't get off and go to a competitor's. So I kind of took a screenshot here of our BIS website, and it's just the above the fold. So when you land on here, one of the number one things you're going to look for is who we are. And we have that completed with our logo up in the top left corner, Business Information Solutions. The second thing that you want to see in 5 seconds is what we do. You can tell that we do affordable IT support. It also has information on ransomware protection. And then you want to establish trust. We have established trust by having these as seen-ons. So you can tell that we've been on Studio 10, National Mortgage News, Local 15. This is a way that people are like, okay, so if the news will have them on there, that means that they have something to offer. They're credible, they're a real organization, they're out there in the community. Other ways you can do this is through testimonials or awards. The fourth thing you want to do is solve a problem. So what we're trying to solve here is, are you having issues with your personal information on the dark web? Another problem is ransomware or IT support. The fifth thing, and it's kind of crazy that we even have to say this, but people leave phone numbers and contact information out all of the time. What you can see here is we have our phone number at the top of our page on every single page. It's clickable. We also have our client portal, remote support. You have a contact us page in the navigation. Sometimes that gets left off as well. And then we have a form where they can fill out some more information. So these are the 5 things in 5 seconds that people should be able to see right off the bat as soon as they get to your website. Or you could risk actually having them go to a competitor's to find more information. Okay, so let's talk about the home page. The home page is the most important page of your website. When they get there, visitors will determine if they will stay on your site, if they want to go into business with you, if they want to buy your products, give you a call, fill out forms and give them your email so they can get some more information. It's extremely important. It's just like your storefront. If you have a storefront and it's really ugly, people may not walk in there if it doesn't look welcoming or like you're open. Same thing. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Okay. Are you able to see my screen now? Okay, great. I am so sorry about that. So what you need on your homepage, we were just talking about that. Let's go over here. Is a clickable phone number. This is left out all of the time, like I was just saying. It's so crazy that people don't want their contact information up there. You want people to be able to give you a call. You want people to give you an email or visit your location. And one of the most annoying things is when that phone number is not clickable. I don't know if anybody else has that issue, but if you can't click the phone number, then you have to get out of your Safari app, go into your dialer, remember the number. If you don't, go back into Safari, get that number, then go back to your dialer, and it's just a pain. But if you can just click that phone number and it just says, okay, call, it makes it so much easier. So if we were trying to order dinner from Big Daddy's, we could easily click that phone number, call them up, look at their menu while we're talking to them. Makes it so much easier. You can also include your email address up top. If you have a sales line number as well as a support, you can do that as well. as we were talking about earlier, credibility. Testimonials, awards, and reviews need to be on your homepage. Here we have testimonials that we've put on our page. Awards are a great thing if you've won local awards. You know, if I'm calling a plumber, I'm more likely to go to someone that I know has awards to back it up, testimonials, and reviews, because we can say we're the best all day long, but people need proof. You know, there's so many businesses out there. You need proof that the company is actually good at what they do. Another thing is you can have those reviews from your Google account just embedded right into your website. And that's a great thing if you have good reviews. Now, if you don't, I wouldn't go embedding those right away. I would just work up to it. But definitely something that you want on your website. Then, and this is another thing that we kind of talked about earlier, is the as seen on. You know, if you have that, if you've been on the news, if you've been in any publications, been featured anywhere, definitely put this on your website. It makes a huge difference. Okay. Moving on to an effective call to action. So when people come to your website, you want them to do something. Maybe you want them to pick up the phone and call you. Maybe you want them to fill out a form and request a quote. Maybe you just want them to stop by or purchase the product right there online. This is what I like about Netflix. It says, watch anywhere, cancel anytime, join free for a month. Okay, they got me with that join free for a month. Because what do I have to lose? I can join free, go ahead and start streaming. If I don't like it, I can cancel. So you want something that's going to cause people to take action. And that's where the form comes into place. So you want a lead capturing form on your website. One of the things about marketing, sometimes people don't want to just buy right off the bat. Sometimes they don't want your service or your product just then and there. They're not sold on it just yet. Or maybe they don't have a need for it just yet. But if you can collect their email address and you maybe send them an email every once in a while with an educational blog or a white paper, or invite them to an event, or give them some kind of other literature or special or coupon, it may pique their interest when they're ready for that product. So maybe I'm not looking for a plumber today, but my toilet breaks. I've got to have somebody I need to call. I open up my email. I see that John has been emailing me. I pick up and call him. I'm familiar with his company. He's right there when I need him. So one thing we have here is a lead capturing form. Is your company and personal information on the dark web? Fill in the form for a free dark web scan. So one thing I like about this is it's an actual call to action. It just doesn't say contact us or request a quote. It's like, is your company and personal information on the dark web? It intrigues me because I'm like, oh, maybe it could be. I don't know. And then what I like is that it's a short form. The more form filled you add, the more likely they are to not fill it out. When you start getting these, well, how much, what's your revenue, your title, all this, and you keep getting more and more, it's kind of like, okay, well, how bad do I want this free dark web scan for me to fill in all this information? And if your call to action or what your freebie isn't good enough, they won't fill out the information. So I just kept it simple with name, company, and email. If I know the company, I can look them up and probably find their phone number pretty easily. I could also probably look them up and find their job title pretty easily. And then we customize the button here. Instead of just saying submit, which is, kind of generic and a little boring, we put, yes, I want a dark web scan. We're trying to get them excited to make them feel like they're actually getting something from it. And it works. Locations and maps. So with search engine rankings, ranking on Google, you want to have that location on your website. It helps with your search engine rankings. It helps that you're embedding a Google map. And so I love here how the historic Blakely State Park has a map right here, our location. It comes in handy for, like I said, search engine optimization, but it also comes in handy, say I'm on their website, I'm like, okay, well, is that close to my campground? Can I make it over there? I can just see right here without having to open another tab. It's got all of their information here as far as like their location, their PO box, if I wanted to send them something, hours of operation and mission, all that is great information. And most of the time you're going to find locations at the bottom of the page. Just scroll right down to the bottom. Another thing that's good is maybe putting in some location keywords into your header or, call to action. I know on ours it's like for local IT support in Mobile, Alabama, Pensacola, Florida, those kind of keywords. People are like, okay, they're local, they support this, they service this area. That's perfect for me. An overview of services and products. When they come to your page and our 5 things in 5 seconds, they want to know what you do. So it's good to not showcase all of your products and overwhelm them. The least amount of choices, the better, but give them a few of your highlights. So here I'm highlighting that we do manage IT support and compliance. If they want to see the rest of my services, they can click on the button and see everything we offer. But we're just putting up here our top services. Same thing with your products. You could put, a few pictures of your products, like your best-selling products, to get them intrigued. If they want to see the rest, have a button that says, see the rest of our products. This way they can get a good idea of what you do. Differentiators. This is extremely important because, as we were talking about earlier, there's so many businesses out there now, and so many of them have websites and they're ranking and they're showing up that it's saturating the web. And so when you try to look for a plumber, 20 people may show up in Mobile, Alabama, and it's kind of like, well, which one do I choose? Normally you go for those top 3 choices and don't really scroll to page 2 or 3. But in those top 3, you're kind of like, okay, which one's better? That's when you start looking at their differentiators. You want to see how they are different than the others. What do they have to offer? I know one of the things when I was looking at a bank, can I do mobile deposit? Are they all over the United States? You want things like that. Can you get money out of the ATM without having your card? Those little benefits need to be highlighted on your website, especially your homepage, so that way they can see how they're different. And then you want social media links. This is another thing that is really good for SEO purposes because you're linking out to another website that is a accredited website. It's also good. I like what Foley Sports did here, where they have their Facebook post embedded into their website so you can see the latest information populating, which means that maybe you don't have to update your website every single day with new things. You can kind of let that Facebook feed do it for you. It's also good to have a review us. If you want them to give you feedback or rate your company or, give a little testimonial, that's a perfect place to do it. So make sure you have all of your social media channels linked. It's also a good idea to have these on your blogs. So that way, if someone comes on it and they're like, oh, this is a great article, I want to share it with my Twitter followers, they can easily do it. Quality images and videos. I cannot tell you how many times I have gone to a website and they have some little video that they've shot. It's all shaky and I'm like, okay, I can't watch this another second. Or if I see an image that's real blurry and, out of focus and it's not supposed to be, it's not one of those types of images, I'm like, okay, maybe they're not as professional as what I thought they were. So you want something that's quality, and it's also good to have like something that's local, like actually shows your product. So it's not just stock photography. But definitely get, a quality photographer to come out there and take pictures or videos to really showcase your products and services. Easy to use navigation. This is really important, and I can't believe we even have to say this nowadays, but one of the things is people get a little creative every once in a while with a navigation bar, and they're like, okay, I want to use icons instead of words, or they want to get fancy with it, so when you mouse over it, you can't even click on the navigation. I'm sure all of y'all have fought with the navigation once or twice, and it's so frustrating that at some points I'm just like, I give up. I'll go to another website and try to get the information I need. So you want to keep your navigation simple, easy, user-friendly, and include all of the right tabs that you deem most important. And you can kind of view that by looking at your analytics on your website and seeing what most viewed pages you have. And then you can include your top pages in your navigation. Chat. Now, I cannot tell you how much our chat has just changed the way that we do business. So nowadays, chat, it's great because I can go onto someone's page if I'm looking at, a mailing service. I can go onto this website. They have a chat pop up. I don't have to pick up the phone. I don't have to wait for an email. I get an instantaneous response right then and there. I can ask them some questions. Okay, does your mailing service do packages? Does it also do letters? Is it hand addressed? Is it printed? And I can get all that information I need. We've even gone so far as to use chat for support tickets. We can handle all of that through chat. It helps the customers. So if you have an e-commerce site, I really recommend getting a chat service. And there's a lot of free ones out there too if you're smaller, that allow you to chat with these people. They have apps on your phone. So if a chat comes in and you're out at the store or something, you can take it real fast. People really like being able to ask questions and get an instantaneous response right then and there. So you can look at different ones. We use Pure Chat, so you can take a look at that one as well. So now let's talk about why people leave your site. So people come to your site, and we said our 5 things in 5 seconds. If they can't find those, then they do leave. And here's some other things, and I'm sure every single one of y'all have experienced these issues. You go to someone's website, and it takes forever to load. Sometimes the images don't ever fully load. The videos lag, and you can't ever get them to play. Or sometimes it's just spinning and spinning and spinning. Slow load time. There's actually a statistic I came across the other day. For every 1 second delay, it can cause 70% reduction in conversions. I mean, just a measly 1 second can cause 70% of your conversions to go down. I mean, that is just insane. But it's true. If you think about it, when I go to someone's website and it won't load, okay, I'm like, I've refreshed it, it still doesn't do it, I'm going somewhere else. There's nothing more frustrating than having to sit there and wait for something to load. So definitely work on that load time. And then not optimized for mobile. This happens all of the time, still to this day, even though mobile has almost, I believe, surpassed desktop users. 61% of users weren't likely to visit a website again if they had issues viewing it on their smartphone. So, you get out there and you start pinching and opening, zooming, and then you have to zoom out and zoom in, and it's a mess. But when it's not optimized for mobile, you can easily use that website. So it's definitely something to look into. And you want to make sure your images are sized right and everything, because sometimes you think it's optimized for mobile and then you go to your phone and it looks completely different. So you definitely want to take a look at your website on your phone. Okay, and then the other one, too cluttered. When you go to a website and you just see so much information and you see so many pictures and maybe there's a ton of text on a ton of images and it makes it very difficult to read, your brain kind of freezes up and is like, okay, I just can't even look at this page anymore. And then you end up going somewhere else. Simple is always better. So try to get the information you need on there, but don't overload the visitor. Now we're moving on to websites, like these website pages you need on your website. So it's very important that you have an About Us page. I believe behind the home page and Contact Us, the About Us page is the next most visited page on people's websites. And on this page, you want to give some history, some information, maybe like your core values, your mission, who the owners are, how it was started. Giving that information about you is fantastic, especially in the local areas. So down here in the South, we're all about local shopping, local services. So it's nice to kind of read a backstory on how a business got started, who the owners are, the different locations. So really work on your About Us page after you get your homepage set up right. And then you want a services and products page. So here, Farm to Juice, they're an e-commerce site. So they have a page where you can go and purchase their beautiful juices here. We have services page. We actually break them down into each service. You don't have to do that. You could just have an overview of all the services you offer, but definitely want to lay that out with a little more information than what you put on the homepage. Testimonials and reviews. I think it's good to have a review and testimonial page only. So you may have some on your website, with like a scrolling banner that shows like 6 or so of them, but you also want to send people to a page and be like, okay, you're interested in doing business with us, but you're just not sure, take a look at this page. And if there's like 10, 20, testimonials on there, it's kind of like, wow, this business has it together. They're really doing great. Their customers love them. So I think it's great to send people to a testimonial page where they can see all of these great things that people are saying about your business. And some people worry, well, what if that customer leaves? Or, what if someone tries to poach my customer? That's one thing to worry about, but it's, how do I explain it? It really doesn't happen if you are on top of your service, on top of your product. You're not going to lose customers to other people. If they've had these great things to say about you, then they love you as a company and will be a big raving fan of yours for a while. Moving on to the contact us page. This is another high trafficked page on your website. People want to know your phone number, your email, including a form like request quote today and your location. It's nice to have a picture too, because we all know Google Maps, while it is fantastic, can mess up and send you to the wrong location. So it's good to have all this information on your page. And say you have different departments, you want them to contact sales or support, you can add all those different phone numbers there as well. And a blog page. So, if you want to rank high on search engines, you definitely need a blog page, because you can't always add new content to your website and add new pages and all of that, but you can add new articles that you've written. Now, you don't want to duplicate anything off of the internet, so you find a great article, you copy paste. That will actually get you in trouble with Google. But instead, take an hour or two to write a really nice blog every month and put it up there with some of your keywords in it. So here we have responsive web designs and why your business needs it. That was one of our latest blogs on June 7th. So as you can see, we're posting every single month with good quality information that links to other websites as well. And then a privacy policy. So the reason I included this one, while no one really visits this page, it's extremely important to have it because different services like Facebook ads, and if you're looking at doing any retargeting or doing any kind of ads online, they're requiring people now to have a privacy policy. And I think that kind of got a little more streamlined with the GDPR regulations that came out. And you probably received a ton of emails saying, hey, we've updated our privacy policy, or when you go to their websites, it's got a pop-up that says we've updated our privacy policy, accept. So it's really good to have this page. I know, like I said, AdRoll is a retargeting service. I know they'll ask to see your privacy policy before they even accept your ads. So if you are looking at doing any online advertising, you will have to have that privacy policy page. And what we do is we just put it in the footer of our website, very bottom. It's not in our navigation or anything like that, but it's down there if anyone wants to see it. So now let's get to the fun stuff, the 7 SEO tips to increase your ranking. So headers, this is a big thing. When people write those blogs or do their pages, sometimes they'll just have all H1 tags, the really big headers, and you see just really big headers all the way down and maybe even no paragraph text. So you've got to make sure that you're doing those different header sizes. So you definitely want, as you can see, the large one is an H1 tag. You want one of those on your page, and then you want some of those subheadings and subheadings. So, you could have something like how to optimize your site for Google, and then you go down and have a subheading that's the number 1 headers, and then you would go down even further, and that's where you'd have like your paragraph text. So it's really important that you are doing that because Google is constantly looking for those headers. Whoops. Okay, here we go. Alt text on images. This is one that people forget about a lot of the times. If you aren't, website savvy, it can be missed. And let me kind of explain this. I had a really great college professor who explained this to me, and I never really thought about it much. But if someone is vision impaired, they do have these softwares that will read out text to them. So if the software comes across an image, it will read this alt text. So, for example, if the software came across this image of a teacup, it's going to read off hot cup of tea zone hibiscus fusion herbal tea range. So then that person can kind of get an idea of what that image is. it's important to have these, and you want to include your keywords in them. Now, you're not trying to overload your website with keywords, but in here, I would guess that one of their keywords is herbal tea. So you want to include some of that in there, and you always want to do an alt text for your images. Keywords. So I know if you are, if you've been into websites or any type of marketing, you have heard of keywords. Keywords could be anything like proactive IT support, VoIP phone, cloud solutions. So you want to include that in your content. Now, you're not trying to be like, we are proactive IT support, Mobile, Alabama. We support proactive IT support, Mobile, Alabama. Our customers like proactive IT support, Mobile, Alabama. There is such thing as keyword stuffing and overusing the keyword. So you want it to be a natural way to include the keyword in your content. So on your homepage, having some information about you on there with the keyword and the location that you're trying to rank in. You can do that on your product pages, your contact us pages. Just don't go crazy with it. And these keywords are extremely important when you're thinking of content as far as like blogging. So when you're blogging, you want to maybe pick a keyword that you're looking to rank for and write a blog around it, some kind of subject. Page titles and meta description. So these are some of the behind the scenes things that that the search engine like Google crawlers are looking at when they're trying to rank your website. So they're looking at the SEO title, the meta description, and these are, like we said earlier, they have keywords in them. So it's just a short synopsis of what the page is about and just, a short title for the page. There's some keywords and some tips on that, and we will be doing a webinar on it later this year about, some of this kind of stuff, which is a little more difficult to grasp, but we'll go through it with a little more keywords. Okay, and new content. Like we were talking about on the blog page, you've got to be adding new content. That's what Google ultimately wants, is for people to add new content to the directory. They don't want the same content. They don't want the duplicate content. They want to be seeing new things out there. That's the whole point. When people go to the website, they're looking for news, for tips, how-tos, for businesses to partner with, all that kind of stuff. So having a blog is perfect for that. You can post a post every month and send it out to your drip list, people who haven't become a client yet but are teetering on that edge. You can send it out to current clients. It's just a great way to get your name out there. And links. So within your page, you want to have links to other pages on your website. So if you're writing a blog on the 7 SEO tips to increase search engine rankings, and one of them is social media links, then maybe you would link social media to your social media page. So linking is extremely important. You also want people to link to you. So the Chamber of Commerce, Eastern Shore Chamber of Commerce, we're a member. We're in their directory. They link to us, which gives us credibility and ranks us higher. But you don't want to get involved with, black hat SEO, which is like doing a whole bunch of spammy backlinks. So you want to link to good quality websites and an updated website. So after a while, just like a car, you can only run your car for so long before it just doesn't work anymore. Same thing with your website. There is such thing as an outdated website. You don't want anything left on there from like 2004, 2010. You want to redo it every 3 to 5 years, give it a facelift. And it makes a difference because things are always changing when it comes to ranking higher on Google and Bing, and also with the fads, like kind of what is in style at that moment for websites. So you definitely got to be looking at that updating website. So here we're at this point where you can stay where you are and, maybe not rank very high on Google or not rank very high on Bing, or do it yourself, or you can enlist experts to do it. So what we have today for joining the webinar, we have a free website and SEO review. So our marketing gurus, Lori Jones and Donald Johansson, will take a look at your website, see maybe some things that you could improve upon on your homepage. They'll give you a list, and also with your SEO, they'll look at your different keywords and see how you're ranking compared to your competitor. And normally this is $199 because it does take some time and we, go through your website pretty thoroughly. But today it is free for webinar attendees. And who's it for? It's for business owners or, managers or marketing managers who want their website to be great, who want their website to work, who want it to provide leads and sales and, get the information out there. So you can send us an email before 8:31 and we can do that website and SEO review for you. So just send an email to events@askbis.com and we can take care of doing that review and get it over to you next week. So if you have any questions, you can just submit it in the chat. Let's see. Okay, we did have one come in that asked about their website. They said their website has not been updated in 2 years. That it's kind of something you got to determine yourself if it needs to be updated or not. If you looked at all the different things that we said your homepage needed and say if it doesn't have any of that, then you would definitely want to add testimonials, add the contact us information if you're missing those certain key elements. So it's really kind of a thing, like I said, you can send us over an email and we can review your website to see if it would need to be updated and add in those kind of elements to get it to rank higher and to get you some more leads and sales. But yeah, good question. Okay, guys. Well, if there's no more questions, we'll go ahead and call it a day. I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming out today, to listening to our webinar. And if you have any questions, you can always send it to that events@askbis.com. So thank you for coming. Bye, guys.